Hi.
Hi.
How's everyone doing? Welcome to the chat.
Yes.
Get into the comment section right now. Say where you're from, where your mama stay, and where your grandpappy stay. Or else Shanika's going to show up at your address and do something to you. Like and share.
Yes. All right. Like and share, guys. Make sure you come on in. We're going to get started. Let us know where you're tuning in from. We are all about relationships today. That's what we're going to be talking about.
Oh, yeah. Relationship episode. We're ready to ask the important questions. Okay, Charlotte in the house.
Hey. Hello, Charlotte. We got Charlotte. We got Virginia Beach. Where else are you all tuning in from? All right, make sure you are sharing the video. The podcast. Make sure you are liking it, posting it on your page for your friends and family to like.
Yes.
We are down to our last. We have one more after this.
Yeah, I think it's one more the next week, right?
Yep, next week is our last.
No, I thought it was the 29th.
Oops. Is that two more? Two more?
Yes, two more. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry, my bad. Two more.
Two more. And then we out for a minute. So how was everybody's week? I just got my booster shot. I'm walking around like it hurt, and it don't even hurt. I'm like stiff, like and it don't even hurt. I think it's a mental thing. I think it's supposed to be stiff, but it's not.
I don't know. I don't know about the boot. Well, I'm not gonna say I don't know.
I got it because we're going on the cruise, and I'm scared to death about going on the cruise, but that's what he wants. So I'm gonna order me a plastic suit to walk around in too while I'm on the cruise.
Now, where's the cruise going? I mean, even if you were
to Jamaica, to Bahamas, and the island, whatever the island is.
Oh wow!
Okay, the island. I love it.
Some island, whatever island. He booked it. I wanted to just fly somewhere, but he wanted to do the cruise.
Oh, that is great. That sounds fun.
I think you're all gonna have a good time.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I just be excited when it's people going places and somebody took the effort to just go something, just plan something.
Is anybody doing anything different for next week for Thanksgiving?
If it was left up to me,
traditional.
Same
different is nothing.
Me, if my family did, and I have no desire to, I would rather just maybe put something on the grill, put my tree up, and.
Now what's going on is my sister Layla Nasser is Miss Maryland, and the Miss USA pageant is going on that Thanksgiving weekend. So the 26th and then the finals are on Monday. Oh, I know.
She's going to win. Yeah. And also, his sister, I'm in love with his sister. I had the chance to work with her when she did the pageant here in Virginia Beach, and I absolutely fell in love with her. She's amazing. But yeah, I wish I could go. I'm team her all the way. She's gonna get it. I love that promo picture too.
Oh yeah. So make sure you tune in. We're gonna have a Black Miss USA again. I think the last one was black. So
yeah, she's gonna get it. Yeah.
Make sure you share the details.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, guys. So I hope everyone had a great weekend. I actually had a chance to meet Chanel in person.
Yeah.
Where?
You bought me for a penny, honey. Yes. I was so excited.
We were at the same event over the weekend, and I saw her, but she was talking to someone. So then she kind of went across the room, and then she was getting ready to go out the door, and I was like, Chanel. and she turned back because she heard her name, but she didn't know where it was coming from. And then I called her again, and then she was like, "Oh my gosh, I can't." Well, she came over and talked to me, and then like it was just like, "Oh my god, I can't believe it!" I was like, "I can't believe it."
I mean, I was so stoked. I was like, yes.
It's. I just realized that all three of us, with the exception of Amir, we're in the same area. So I don't even know why we haven't all three gotten together and met. I don't know why. I just think everybody's in different. I always see Shanika in the morning. Well, not this morning, but I normally see Shanika. Yeah, I slept in today. I'm sorry, but I'll be here in the morning.
Yeah, it was great seeing you in person finally.
Yes,
That's awesome.
absolutely. But
Yeah.
I think that we need to get together and like do like a fun photo shoot. Like Will and I had talked about it, but I was like, okay, we got to figure out how we're gonna all get together and do a really fun
Meet halfway. Yeah.
because we haven't, and I mean, I really would like for our families and stuff to get together and just kind of hang out and just, you know. But anyway, yeah, we'll have to talk about that. But anyway, guys, we are going to go ahead and jump right in because we have a lot of relationship questions and things that we're going to get into relationships. So please make sure if you have any relationship questions, comments, concerns, you drop it in the chat, and we can talk about it because we, it's relationships. Because it seems that people are getting into these sticky situations, and people are thinking that certain things are going to keep them in relationships, and what keeps people in relationships, and what makes people leave relationships, and things that happen in relationships. So, yeah, we're gonna jump right on into it, and I think that Will, you have kind of one of the like a story, kind of. You have a story.
A story?
Like a question.
I like scenarios. I like what would you do. I just want to see
Yeah.
what type people I'm working with here. But okay, I do have a quick scenario. I've actually been in a situation like this. So you go on a trip with a group of your friends, and one of your friends, the fast one, decides to cheat on their significant other. The spouse finds evidence and stuff like we always do, and we call you asking questions. What's your response? You know, is there a friend code or what? What's your response to the spouse when they call you demanding some answers?
I think you need to demand the answers from the person that you pillow talk with at night. I don't think that you should call me and put me in the middle of anything because I'm not.
So this is my response to you then. So basically, what you're telling me is she did do it, or he did do it.
I was going to say that. No,
your refusal to answer what you're telling me.
No, I would.
No,
That's not an admission of anything. That's a. Why would you ask me?
So why can't you just tell me yes or no then?
But you would be more willing to protect your friend's relationship or marriage than you would be to be part of it, you know, falling apart. So if it were no, that would be something that you would admit forthcoming. So I just feel like the unwilling to answer the question, which is what I would do. I'm not saying it's wrong because I would be like, yo, phone, you know. I don't think
that I'm not getting in there. Like, I'm not. Why are you asking me that? Like that feels like a setup. Like because my thing is, are they divulging to you? Are they divulging? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, are they divulging to you? Like, I already know. Because my thing is, if you were to call me and ask me that, any of y'all were to call and ask me that, and you're just speculating. You don't say, well, I already know. Because if you say you already know, then if you feel like you already know, why are you asking me?
Yeah. I think honestly it's a slippery slope. And I mean, I know that's a logical fallacy, but you know, I'm just saying, as soon as if one of my friends' spouses was calling me, first off, I'm already suspicious. Why are they calling me for? Right? Is it the famous Amir? Have you seen Bill? He didn't come home last night. He said that he was spending the night with you. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, right? It's just already like, I don't know if I really want to answer. They could leave a message, a nice little voicemail. Hey, I know I'm just had some questions about your trip with Michael. I just had some questions, and I'm going to hit up my friend and be like, hey, your spouse, you know, your wife, your husband, they're asking me about our trip. Because I mean, if I witnessed it, then that means I'm already guilty. You know what I'm saying? I'm already in it. They've put me at risk. Like now it's kind of like I'm an accomplice, even if I didn't do anything. So I mean, that's gonna be on my head. As soon as I see their name on my caller ID, I'm gonna be like, oh shit. You know what I mean? Oh, they already know. They figured it out. They seen the message.
Don't do that shit to me. My thing is, and if it's something, I mean, I ain't about trying to get in it or be an accomplice, as Amir say. But if it's something that your ass want me to say, you better tell me that shit up front.
But it never works like that. You get caught off guard.
Right. Don't have your, because you better tell me that shit. Look, listen, you know who you sleeping with, so you better tell me that shit up front.
I'm with Amir though. Yeah, we gotta watch our caller ID. I don't think if I recognize the number, I probably wouldn't even answer.
Yeah.
But do you even see? And that's another thing. That's funny because it's funny because so I have a little boy who comes to get his hair braided, right? And so he was like, "Can you call my dad?" And I was like, "I don't have your daddy number." Like, and it would be really weird. And I told him, I was like, it would be really weird if I had your daddy number. I don't have your daddy number. I got your mama number. I don't have your daddy number. Like, and I had to like tell his mom that. So my thing is, do y'all even have your friends' spouses' numbers? Like, I don't have my friends' spouses' numbers.
But if they get it, that's even more suspicious.
Right.
Yeah. No. When it happened to me, I basically just said, cheating? I was like, no, I don't have any information on that. And that was the truth. I didn't. I knew it happened, but I ain't had no information on it. So I ain't lie. If they got there and he confessed his guts out, then I still decided I was like, I didn't have no information on it. You know, I knew you left with X, Y, and Z, but I didn't have no information on that.
That was real smart.
Yeah. Right, and then my thing is, again, my thing is because that still could be a speculation. Like you may have seen like a receipt, or maybe they went out, but that's not to say that they really cheated. And then because that has happened to me. Mm-hmm. To be quite honest, that has happened to me, and I felt the setup because I was like, wait a minute, both of y'all playing games. Like she just said some more reckless stuff to you, and then you came back to me to try to hype up the story. Mm-hmm. And I mean, no, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, I don't, no, don't do that because you're trying to catch her up in something because you know what I'm saying, and you're gonna try to use me to do it. No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
So Kiana said, I don't know. I wasn't there. Talk to the person you are married to. You should be getting confirmation to the person you made the commitment to. That's odd. I mean, yeah.
Man. Yeah, I mean, like y'all said earlier, if that was like this incriminating, right? The self-incriminating. Wait, why aren't you going to talk to me about it? I mean, to me, it informs the kind of relationship you have with your friends' spouses, right? Because I'm not that close. There's a few where I feel like we're close enough where we could maybe talk, but I still don't. Like, I've just known them for a long time, or I've known the couple since they started dating. There's even some couples who I introduced, and I'm still like, no, I'm not talking to your spouse. Like, I know you. I don't know. That's just how I look at it.
Okay. All right, man.
Makes sense.
Who's next?
All right. If you are in your late 20s or early 30s and you are not in a relationship, married, or just dating, is there something wrong with you?
You said late 20s?
Late 20s, early 30s.
Oh, no.
40s.
I actually think that's early to me. I think like back in the day when women weren't as independent, like when they weren't as formally educated or had their own careers, and they did it for security. Like they wanted, to find a man that was going to want them. They were in their prime and all this stuff. But women, they're doing it for themselves nowadays. So they don't hold out.
I'm sorry. Listen. Wow, this somebody just texted me was like, I got your number. So one of my friends' spouses just texted me and was like, I got your number. And I'm like, who the hell is this? But I'm like,
Oh my god. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you thought they were questioning you. Okay.
Like no, because I didn't know who it is because I don't have this person's number, and it's like who is
They let you know, yeah. They got your number though, so
right.
So they may call to ask some questions. So you get yourself govern yourselves accordingly.
Right. Just don't talk about Cancun.
Yeah. Right.
Okay. All right. Okay. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I think 29 is early nowadays. I mean, people are getting married later and later.
50s and stuff like
if they're getting married.
Right.
I mean, I wasn't against long-term relationships. I like life partner. I like Oprah and Stedman's situation. To me, like I said, I think the best part of a relationship is that dating part. To me, when you get married, shit happen. But hey.
Okay. So because I think more and more people too are making the decision to become life partners and not necessarily being married. Why do you think it is? Why do you say that would be good for you versus do you think things change? Because it sounds like
I absolutely think. I think there's this group of expectations that are behind this imaginary door. That as soon as you say "I do," it opens and all this shit falls down that you're supposed to do, whether you want to freaking do it or not, and whether it applies to your type relationship or not. And then when you don't do it, things are wrong. We're in counseling. Excuse me for loading all that on y'all, but I had to get that out. Yeah, it's just I don't know. I would have been fine with it.
So do y'all think, everybody, this is for everybody, audience and all, do you think that there's less expectation when you are dating or in a life partnership versus being married? And why so? Why do the expectations change when you go from dating to in a marriage?
I think the model,
because for some reason when marriage comes into the picture, there's this idea of ownership.
There's an idea of
that part.
What did she say?
Ownership.
People tend to equate marriage with ownership, and in relationships, there.
Oh, there she go. Come back.
Right at the good part, right?
Yeah,
here she comes.
Because you're just dating. When that for some reason there is idea that you're so.
Oh man.
All right, I'm
your audio. Yeah, your audio. Something with your audio. But to add to that, I think something's wrong with your audio, boo. Now you're visual.
All right.
Okay. Let's see if she can work it out. But I think to add to that, I think when you're in a relationship, you're dating, and maybe your goal is marriage, there's like this constant pursuit that keeps things there. It's like a balance thing. That, at least from my experience, that there's a constant pursuit of one another to where you're trying to make things work. You're eager to work things out. But as soon as you get to that finish line, which is the I do's, you sit back, you relax, like, okay, I got this now. I can chill out. I can really be me. And
it becomes complacent. It becomes very complacent.
Absolutely.
So I think part of it, when you say why, because at the end of the day, some people say, well, I'm not going to get married. It's pointless. It's the same thing if I'm in a life partnership. But to me, that marriage is a legal binding. I mean, when Chanel said it's ownership, I mean, technically by law, you become one individual. You know what I mean? Like it is about that. You change names. You're technically saying that you are now a family unit. And that changes everything to me. I mean, you could say, I don't think that people should just sit back and relax because they've attained a goal. But I think, unfortunately, a lot of people see marriage as a goal, something that they can check off their list. Oh, I'm going to go to college, get a career, get married, and have some kids. But none of that really matters, when you're actually living it. Once you get into the marriage, it's like, well, why was that your goal in the first place? I mean, all you were signing a document to say that you're married to somebody.
But to add to even that, like you said, some people see it as a goal. I can see marriage as a goal, but it's not a finish line. The goal after that is to stay married.
Right.
Because you can get out of it. So then we had to go to why 50% of marriages end in divorce. Because people stop pursuing one another. People stop.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. And then the sad thing about that is people do stop pursuing one another, but the divorce is prolonged in a sense because now it's like, okay, we have children involved.
Yeah.
And now we have assets involved. And it's just like, okay, so now I'm married, but I'm really lonely. And then I can't get out, or I could, but I'm not because now I got these kids. And you know what I'm saying? And I got this.
Right.
This becomes a long, in a sense, I know it sounds very crass, a long kind of drawn out process. And then that's when you end up seeing people who've been together 30, 40 years end up getting a divorce. And you're like, what the hell? Do you really get a divorce after that long? And it's like, yeah, because, we was really waiting for the kids to leave the house. So we was really waiting for, this to happen or that to happen. So, which is very disheartening because, people do let go of the pursuit. And it's just like, why? Like, why? And then it's just like, then it almost becomes, which goes into my next kind of question in a way. Well, not really, but then it becomes a question of like, why does this pursuit fall? Why is it like you, okay, now you're content. Like I heard a comedian say, like in reference to, like he was saying, he was making a joke and it was reference. He was like, men just want to be left alone. He was like we want to look over and see that you're there as a woman. Like we want to look and see that you're there, but we really don't want to. We really don't want you to talk to us.
I know what you're talking about.
Like we just want to look over and know that. Like there was times I feel like in my marriage, like I felt like that's how Walter is like, okay, like you just wanted to look over and realize and just see that I'm in the room. Like you didn't really want to talk to me. You didn't really want to, engage. You didn't really want to nothing. You just wanted to look over and see that I was there. And as long as I was there, you were okay. But as soon as I got up to leave out the room, it's like, where you going? And what you doing? It's like, I've been sitting here for 3 hours. You ain't saying shit. So it's just weird. And it is sometimes very disheartening because it's just like, what is this? And where is this going? Like how do we balance this out? And why does the pursuit stop just because you become married and it becomes more of an obligation or ownership? And, it's just sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, I think the pursuit, we all call it the honeymoon stage or whatnot. And I think that can happen to people who never get married. People get into relationships all the time. And then maybe a few months pass, and they're like, man, I'm not really feeling this. They stop their, they stop their pursuit for whatever reason. And I think the same thing happens with marriage. And to me, that's why it's always been a red flag to me if somebody's talking about marriage in a couple of months of their relationship. Because I'm like, dang, what's the rush? You might get tired of the person in 6 months and forget about marriage. Because I don't think marriage is the cause as much as I just think sometimes people are fickle. You know what I mean? Like they're in it for those feelings. And then once that goes away for whatever reason, whether it be marriage, it could be as simple as you move in with your partner. You just move in, like your boyfriend, it's not even that serious. It's, just a friend that you messing around with, and y'all move in together. And then as soon as something bad happens or something, you just like, yeah, I'm not feeling this anymore. I don't know. I don't know when people do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, speaking of relationships and how people behave in relationships, I was watching an episode of Marriage Boot Camp Celebrity Edition, and Nori, the Noriega, the rapper Nori, and his wife are up there, and they had this big issue with insecurities and jealousy coming from him to her, to the point where she couldn't even go anywhere without him having these feelings of insecurities and jealousy, even hanging out with her own friends. She is an attractive woman. So my question is this. Do people choose partners that aren't as traditionally good looking to kind of like not trigger their feelings of insecurity and jealousy? You know, in the series, she said to the therapist when they were in their meeting was that, you know, you should be secure in that who I am, that I won't do those things. It has nothing to do with the attention I get, you know, the fact that I'm attractive, but you should know me, that I'm not going to do things that's going to jeopardize our relationship.
Mhm.
So how do we, what do you guys think about that? Like with people who are, I would just say traditional good looking. And Will has said something that says, well, do people push people to be insecure?
I think a person who themselves is insecure probably would have a problem dating somebody who's extremely attractive. I have been through this situation where I've told somebody I couldn't date you because they were extremely attractive. Yeah. I mean, like drop dead gorgeous. That's right. I'm like, oh hell no.
Wow.
Not gonna wear me to death. No.
So why did you do that though? Like what were your why? Because if that person is saying, I want you, you know.
Yeah, that sounds good. Sounds good. But just it sounds good. It's great on the card and all that, but the reality of the fact is I wasn't the only person who was interested in that person. So I would always be weighing myself or comparing myself to the next guy. And that was an insecurity on my half. And I think the same thing is like people who like Holly Berry and all those people. I think they have a hard time finding people to date because of issues like that.
Yeah.
But to me, I mean, I don't feel that that was back then. I mean, I'm married now, so I guess I can't date anymore.
But I'm sorry, but even still, like even with your spouse, like even with Justin, I mean, you never know who's attracted to him. You know, it may not be the forefront of like somebody saying, "Oh, I'm attracted to him."
Glad you said that. So I probably still did have a little bit of insecurity. So I still would have never dated anybody who I felt was more attractive than me.
So they could be on your level, but they
could be on my level. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I think there's true.
You can't be ugly. I'm not gonna date anybody that's ugly. And as a matter of fact, we had a discussion. I said, "Who wants to date anything that nobody else wants?" I mean,
that's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah. Like, I ain't gonna date nothing that everybody wants. And I got to sit there and I'm biting my nails.
You can make somebody who nobody wanted to begin with. You can make somebody that nobody wanted look good, and then everybody gonna want them because you want them. So you know, so that's just how that ball rolls in a sense. It's like, you know, I always feel like, you know, you don't want, if you're at dinner with somebody, you don't want your food to look better than the person that's sitting across from you. But, you know, you want to be able to look up and be able to look at your person, you know, the person across from you and not look at your food the whole time because your food look better than them. But I've never been, you know, for me, like I've never, looks was never a thing for me. Like, you know, like Walter has booked me sometimes about, you know, people that he saw that I, you know, had, you know, talked to whatever, he felt some type of way, but I was like, but it wasn't about that. It wasn't always about looks for me, you know, because I feel like
always about looks.
Sometimes it was.
Anybody that I chose, like to me, people that I chose, it was about how they treated me. Like Walter is like the lightest person that I've dated. Well, okay, I'm married to him now, but in my dating phase, he's the lightest.
Okay.
You know, I said that too. I never chose my mate with my eyes. I've never done that before. So I haven't. Huh?
What you say?
I don't choose my partners with my eyes. Like I'm not initially enticed by how people look.
Oh,
like,
okay.
I mean, I can appreciate a good looking guy, that's for sure. And, you know, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So, of course, I have to find you attractive in some kind of way.
Right.
But I just never, I'm like, you know, Shanika, I've never done that. But I have heard people, like you said, Will, oh, no, she's too pretty, or no, Me too. Like,
yeah, he's different. It's because
like they gotta be somebody to sleep around. Yeah, and I think it's unfair to people who have no say in how they're born and how they look, their aesthetics and things like that. But that, like I said, it's usually coming from an insecurity with that person. And to me, I admit it was coming from an insecurity.
I don't want to be with nobody who stay in the mirror more than me, and I don't want to almost think that I might be looking for you with a flashlight in the daytime. Like I don't want to. Like
so Will, what was so funny was watching your reaction to both Chanel and Shanika, because in my head I just heard one of my friends. He used to say, "Are the streets okay?" That's exactly, because at the end of the day, how I've always seen it as a straight man, I've always felt like women have a rough time with us straight men, because I don't know. I mean, I don't know what they see in us. I don't know. I mean, that's why I'm never surprised when a woman says, "Well, I don't date a man for looks." I'm like, because ain't many of us out here having any looks. And I'm not saying that maybe physically we might have something, but most men aren't even trying out here. Like straight men aren't even trying to look presentable. And I'm like, the pool isn't great.
You're in Maryland.
Yeah, I'm in Maryland.
Well, I have to disagree with that. I know a lot of straight men who are, especially straight single men who are. I mean, they think they're doing it, from a gay perspective. They really not, but they think they are.
You just said it from a gay perspective. That's what I'm talking about.
I mean, we're very critical down to
so y'all saying
but they put effort into it.
okay, so audience, do y'all think? Okay, what is it like? So y'all, I need our audience. Do you think that? I mean, what do you look at looks? Is looks a priority or a thing for you? Or do you take on a person how they treat you? Or is looks a thing for you?
Or would you not date somebody because they are beautiful, like excessively maybe? Do you, even if you're attracted to them and they're attracted to you, would you pass on that person just because they're too handsome?
Okay, so let me tell you this story. So when I went home, I don't to my class reunion. I went home, and this older lady. So we had went to my friend's house, and her mom was like having a yard sale. So this older lady came up the street, and she was there, and she was talking, and so I heard her voice or whatever, and then she looked at my husband, and she was like, she
laughed.
She was like, "Oh, look at you with your bow legs!" Right?
She is cute. Did you cry? Did anybody cry after?
I was like, let me find out this old lady. All she gonna have to do is make my husband some hot water cornbread, and he gonna be gone with this lady because of his bow legs. You know what I'm saying? But my husband is handsome, but that is like the first thing that women see is his bow legs. Like it's like, and so I don't know. I mean, he's a handsome guy. But I think that at the end of the day, like I think one of y'all said, like I think it's the attention that men or your spouse or your significant other gives people. Because I don't ever think that Walter, and maybe he do when he's not with me, but I don't ever.
Did you just say that they give people or get from people?
Wait, say it again.
When you
the
said
attention they give or get from people.
The attention that they get. Like I don't think that he gives. Okay, I don't think I don't think that he gives women attention. Like I don't think that he when he with me, like I don't think he see other women. You know what I'm saying? Like you could see men see other women. Like I don't necessarily look at you. Whatever. Well, Walter is here. I'm not saying that he don't look. We all look. We look. I look. Everybody look. But I'm just saying, like I don't see him being that guy that's like that he just.
I just feel it's unfortunate.
I don't care because you can see if you think that you are a beautiful person. When you see a man that's coming to your direction and you see him and he looked the other way, that's what I'm saying. It's just
Will, you hit the nail on the head. Because Will, you said it's not fair. You said it's not fair. I just, if you like somebody, you're into that person. They're trying to be into you, but they feel like they can't be into you because you get attention from other people.
Yeah.
But while other people looking at them, they looking at you. They're not paying attention.
Yeah.
And that's crazy to me.
I think
people are going to look at you. People going to look at your man. People looking at Justin. People looking at you.
We're talking about
people looking at you, Amir. People are looking at people because, first of all, they're looking at your relationship. They're looking at who you're with. First of all, that's what they see. Who are they with? And it's like, wow, okay. And then they're breaking it down. This is how people think. Then they breaking it down. It's like, oh, we like, okay, well, he nice looking, or she look good, or she pretty, or whatever. People look. People are going to look. People have all of these ideas and thoughts in their mind. And then if they're single, it's like, okay, well, and if they don't, and they really don't care about, because some women only, or some men only want to deal with somebody who's married, because it's like, okay, they have more to lose. It's like this person ain't really going to, it's always going to be a secret type of situation. You know what I'm saying? So people look. And whether you think that ain't nobody looking at Justin or ain't nobody looking at you, people look, and people look.
I think what we were talking about was the insecurity that people feel.
That's what I'm saying.
So I mean, like what Will was saying earlier, like for me, I've had those moments where I was dating this girl back in college, and we were hugged up on the gate, just hanging out on this like fence, and this guy yelled, "Stop the car," because he was looking at my girl, and I felt some type of way. I really was mad, but but in my head, I was like, all right, chill, you just being insecure. I mean, clearly you got it like that. Mm-hmm. Only later to find out, after I had broken up with her, everyone's like, oh, you moved up. I don't know why you were dating her anyway. So I don't know what that guy saw in the girl I was with. Maybe he just saw her outfit. I don't know. But everybody in my circle was saying that I've upgraded when I stopped dating her. So, I mean, if I would have let that insecurity rule me, I know I would have, but it was my own insecurity. And I think that's what we're talking about, is that if you're afraid to date somebody who's beautiful, it's because you feel like they could leave you for somebody else. They don't even have to say anything,
So you're with somebody who's beautiful and they're with you. Like I think that it is an insecurity, but I think you need to just like let it sit where it is. Like I think you need to let it sit where it is, because sometimes people don't, and people have been hurt from beauty, and it's like, okay, I can't look at beauty anymore. I can't look at, like, I don't care what I look like. I just want to be with somebody who loves me for me, who can handle me, who knows how to handle me. And even though I may look like this or whatever the case may be, I still want to be with you. And it doesn't matter, because I'm never going to leave you for who and whatever, because I've already been down that road. I've already been down the road of being with a guy who has this, that, and looks great and all this, and they ain't treating me right. So, whatever. I don't know. I just don't think that, and I think that that's what people get caught up to in looks. It's like in
I think it's internal, and they need therapy.
Okay, but look, that's the first thing that you see. Unless you're just around somebody in a group setting and they make you laugh, and then you start to, but usually on a one-on-one situation, we're visual people. That's the first thing that you see. Yeah. Like, your looks can draw me to you, but your personality, something else can have to keep me around.
Right.
Can fade.
Right.
Yeah. And I think
don't let the insecurities of somebody else eyeing your man make you feel something.
I don't think people worry about that.
Not this one.
Or for you to behave in ways that's going to be detrimental to your relationship. Being clingy, not wanting people to go anywhere, not wanting them to go places without you. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
So, Amir, did you answer? Because 5 million was waiting for you.
Right. Well, I was trying to answer. That's what I said. I'm constantly talking about how people are looking at her at the store. She doesn't believe me. But I'm also not worried. I know that she loves me. It seems like it. She seems to enjoy my company. So I'm not worried about it. But I do think she's attractive, and I'd be catching people looking. So, but what am I going to do about it? At most,
how do you feel when you see the dude checking around?
I was going to say that too. Yeah.
There's one time we were at the club, and somebody was waiting for me to stop dancing with her so they could dance with her. Like, I'm just sitting there. We go, we just slow dancing, and I just look up, and I make eye contact with another man who's looking at her. Like, just was just like he saw me and he's like, yeah. So when are you gonna stop dancing?
I was saying the same thing. Not the seems like it. That's what I was thinking to myself.
Yeah, like I mean, what am I gonna? I couldn't do anything about it, but it's just like I said.
Did she dance with them or did she not dance with them?
No, she did not dance with. No, she doesn't want to. She wants to dance with me. That's what I mean. She makes it very clear she wants to be with me. But sometimes I catch people's eyes. I'm all like, oh, okay, I see what it. Some people look at me and they're like, oh, you're with a black woman. You seem like the type who would date a white woman. You've had people say that to me. Yeah. So I mean, yes. So I'm not exactly sure. I guess I don't look like the kind of guy who would date a black person. But
you know what? That's funny because I would say that if I said that about my husband. I was like, if we're not together, if we weren't together, I think that he would be with a white woman. He say no, but I think he would.
Well,
okay. But,
on that note, who's next?
Speaking of being with a white woman, the baby.
Okay, is she white?
She's mixed.
Oh man, okay. If y'all say so. I mean, if you say, I didn't know she was mixed.
White, though.
Yeah, I didn't know she was mixed. If anything, she was passing as a black person to me. I guess she got kicked out from the baby after they went on live. He was saying he was videotaping her for his safety. We already kind of are looking at him sideways after what he decided to say at his concert. I wasn't really listening to him like that anyway. I'm not saying that he ain't have no talent, but I couldn't tell you any of his songs right now. And I mean, everyone seems to know his name, so I'm like, clearly he's famous. But at this point, I think it's time for us to forget about him. Honestly, I'm looking at him like he's kicking the baby and the mom out. His name is the baby. So I mean, to me, one thing that this has spawned is questions about relationships, and specifically one that stood out to me was this is why you don't have a baby with somebody who you haven't married or who hasn't given you a ring. And that was a huge thread where people were arguing back and forth talking about what a ring would mean, how that would even stop, like what's happening with the baby and Danny Lee from stopping. Do you guys agree, or do you think that would?
No. I think they should have had a conversation about if they had a relationship or not, because the articles that I read, she was basically like a jump off girl. He said that he was going to take care of the kids, but they didn't have anything. He said and then she said that she was going to come stay with him. He told her no, she won't. And he went to the DR when she had the baby. He flew his mom over there, but then I think her and her parents got into an argument, and she didn't think it was safe for her to stay there with the baby, so that's why she came to his house. But it was never like, he says that it was never like, I want you to come stay with me type situation. That's why he wanted her out. He was going to always take care of the baby, but they weren't in a relationship for her to be his responsibility. But like you said, you shouldn't have a child with someone who you're not, at least, I'm not going to say you're not married. That's traditionally what you should be, married, but at least on the same accord that, we're in a relationship. A committed relationship. We're going somewhere with this.
Me personally, I don't think a ring or a baby. I'm sorry. Personally, I don't, because I feel like even with the ring or a baby, people leave. I think that what really needs to be happening, as you said, Will, is conversation. Because I think conversation is what keeps you there and what makes you leave. It ain't a ring, it ain't a baby, it ain't a house, it ain't a car, it ain't a dog, a cat, a hat, none of that. It's conversation and how comfortable a person feels with what you're saying, and as it's been said, you don't even allow nobody to put you out of nowhere. And once they put you out, you don't go back. Like, they just showed you how they feel about you. So you don't even know that you need to go back. And then once he categorized her as a side piece, and then she posted all these pictures that says, this is to prove that I wasn't a side piece. No, little baby. Side pieces have pictures with their side pieces. I'm not really knowing where you're going with that, but
Not little baby.
We went to the restaurant together. How am I his side piece? Like, well, he didn't go to your family Thanksgiving. I think that's a.
right. I mean, and then they make don't post that. Don't post that. You can keep it in your phone, but don't post that. I mean, so just because you have pictures, and my thing is, I don't think you ever saw any of those pictures until now, because it's like, let me show you proof that I wasn't his side piece. So, it's just like, come on now. But no, I personally do not think a baby or a ring really keeps anybody anywhere. And you can't keep somebody who doesn't want to be kept.
That's right. I agree 100%.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay. All right, is it my turn again?
Yep.
Yes.
Oh, let me look in my treasure box. Let me see here. How deep do I want to get? Okay, let's talk about this. So do you think, friend, first of all, this is a two-part. Do you think men and women can be just friends? A straight man and a straight woman can be just friends. And then number two, do you think friends can have good sex and just keep it on that friendship level? Let them marinate.
I do think that men and women can be best friends.
You do? And nothing sexual be about it?
I do.
Okay.
I do.
Now, do you think that they could have sex and then keep it on that friendship level?
I do.
Now, Will, in your question, you clarified and said if they had good sex.
Good sex. Well, that's the only way you keep having it, I would think.
I do think eventually that one or the other are gonna
catch feelings.
I've never believed in that you can keep having sex with somebody and don't have feelings for them. People say that you can, but I just don't. I just feel like if there's really good chemistry, I don't understand the concept. And depending on how often you're doing it, I don't understand the concept of people saying I could just be in a bed with you, sharing this space with you, sharing this intimate space with you, and never have any type of feelings for you. Like I don't see how that's possible. But people say that it happens and it can happen, but I just don't.
Yeah, I think eventually somebody's going to catch feelings and complicate things.
That's the word, complicate things.
Right. Yeah. But then I think that even if it's a situation of we're just friends, we have said, we have had conversation that we are not going to be together. I think that person who is catching the feelings will never say anything, which to me is those situations where, like you were sleeping with somebody today, and then in 3 months you done married somebody else. I think it's stuff like that. That's how those types of situations happen. It's like, okay, we're never going to be together, but then the whole time you was in a whole relationship with somebody else, and you end up getting married to the other person that you was with. Too.
Yeah, or they suppress their feelings, because you're not supposed to have the feelings.
Right.
So you watch each other move on with other people, or start connections with other people, but eventually I'm with you, somebody's going to complicate things.
Yeah. I think it's definitely possible. I've had plenty of women who are friends. However, I had to cut off some women based on the fact that there could have been other stuff, even if nothing happened. Especially as I got into a serious relationship, got engaged. I didn't really realize it at first, but Fabian was quick on that. Like, why are you really friends with them anyway? And I really had to think about it. You know what I mean? Like, and I still have a few of my friends around, but a few of them women, I was like, man, I never really noticed like how they were interacting with me. But maybe it's because I was willfully ignorant.
So do you think it would be difficult for you to have a new female friend?
No. I think actually, okay, I'm gonna say it's complicated. I think if it's just a friendship, yes, like just friends we just hanging out, we go into the bar, difficult. Business, I still consider, I have a lot of business relations. I'll say I'm friendly with them, but we're not best friends. We're not buddies. You know, and I think that to me makes a difference because I'm married now.
Mm-hmm.
So so friends that you meet, female or male, do you make it a point to introduce them like to Fabi? So if you have a coworker or whatever, and maybe y'all go out, okay, so like supposedly a group of y'all was supposed to go out, but only you and this other person who happens to be a female, and then it's like, okay, well, yeah, we chatted up or whatever. Do you wouldn't attempt to introduce that person to Fabi, or it's just like, no, this is my coworker and that's it?
Oh yeah, I mean, I feel like I talk about Fabian enough where they got to know. Like, you know, I mean, now I have a ring. When I was engaged, the interesting thing about being engaged as a man is that, you know, I didn't have a ring to show off, right? So I do feel like, I remember one lady was like, "You're getting married?" And I'm just like, "Why are you saying it like that?" You know, like, I'm not, you know, I mean, she was an older woman, but I just remember feeling kind of weird about that. Like, okay. Like, I don't know what you thought was going on, but yeah, I'm getting married. I'm sorry, I didn't realize I had to run around the hallways, talk about how I'm getting married in a business place. But I think I definitely feel like I talk about her if I'm invited out, you know. I'm like, oh yeah, you know, I might bring my wife. I tell her what's going on. I feel like it's more important I talk to my wife about who I'm talking to or who I'm meeting, more so than talking to them. And most of the time, it's surface level. So I mean, now we're in the pandemic since I've been married. Really, got married, then like 4 months, 5 months later, pandemic. So I haven't even been in any of these situations recently where I can even feel like, you know. But when I was engaged, I definitely felt kind of like this weird in between energy where I was like, how do I handle this?
I mean, like, I would like to hear from like your spouse, like even my spouse, because I think sometimes, because I keep like, somebody low key told me that it was women at my husband's job that were interested in him, and then when I brought it to his attention, he was like, "What are you talking about? What? I don't know who told you that. Why would anybody say that?" I'm like, stop acting like you're not handsome. Like, stop acting like you, like, people don't look at you. Like, stop it. Like, just like, stop it. So, you know, but I just wonder, like, even though you're like, I talk about Fabian enough where people, where people know not to, but people will push up on you anyway. Like, even what you're talking about, it's like if somebody, because I think that people will test you. People will test your loyalty. Like, how loyal are you to this person? Like, okay, like, are you going to shoot me down and be like, I'm getting ready to get married, or I am married and my wife X, Y, and Z. Like, I do think that people check your loyalty to see where you are, because as I said, like, some women, men, whatever, go after the people who are married. So, you know, it's like, you know, I think that people will check you to check your loyalty or whatever. So that's why I asked, because, like,
okay.
You know,
so you actually reminded me of a loyalty check, and I mean, I don't know what this lady was thinking. This is another lady, a white lady actually. So funny, I talked about that earlier. And I was getting in the elevator, and she's like, "Oh, where you go?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm going to get some lunch." And she's like, "Oh, I haven't eaten yet." And I was like, "Oh man." You know, what are you gonna do? You know what I mean? Like,
that's what I was saying earlier, Will. Like that. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like that's what I'm saying. Like, when women come to you, like, and you were like drinking your drink. That's what I'm saying. Like, Amir is not checking for them, although they may be checking for him. That's what I'm saying. Like, about Walter. Like, Walter would have been like, "Oh, okay, then. Well, I'm about to go ahead and call my wife and see what she doing." Like, you know, that's what he, you know, that's how he think. And I'd be like, "Well, Walter, she was really trying to talk to you. Like, she was really trying to see if you were gonna treat her to lunch, or if you was gonna go to lunch where she was going, or if you was gonna do whatever." Like, you know, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think that sometimes people, you know, men, like, it's just like, that's what I'm saying. Like, he ain't really. It's I don't know, is the naivete or just like you just think everybody being friendly, and it's like, no, she was low key trying to push up on you to see where your loyalty lie. Really.
Yeah.
So what's the right response to that?
To, I'm hungry. Oh, I'm going to get. Or I haven't had lunch either.
Well, maybe you should try the cafe.
I heard the deli down the street has some
logical.
Yeah. I mean, I just
You know,
Is this wrong? So,
they have a deli down the street. They have a deli in the lobby. So maybe you should check it out.
So what Fabian said about me was that I was too nice because I actually felt bad because I felt like that was weird. Why did she ask me? Like, was she trying to get me to take her to lunch? Like, I was just so confounded by it. I had told Fabian, I said, this girl said she was hungry when I talked about I was going to get some food, and I didn't know what to do. And she was like, "Oh, well, what did you say?" And I'm like, "Well, I just was like, well, I hope you figure out what you're gonna eat." And I was like, I feel bad. Like, what if that wasn't what it was? And she's like, "That's what it was." You know what I mean? So I'm all like, in a business environment, when I'm not even thinking about that, sometimes it's like I'm not even thinking about you like that. I'm not even paying attention to you. And it might just be as simple as in a shared cafeteria area. Oh, is this seat taken? It's like, well, no. But then also, I don't want you to sit next to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's just stuff like that where a lot of times
I think that you will know. I mean, women are not. I don't think that women are very hard to figure out, and I think that women can be read very easily. Women can be read. Like when the flirting is happening, I think that women can be read, but it's not. I don't think it's very difficult to figure out when a woman is flirting or trying to.
But what? And then what is the what? Okay, so
what is the right response?
If you're at a conference, if you're at work, and somebody asks you, "Is this seat taken?" What's the correct answer? No, it's not taken because I'm married and I'm in a prison. You cannot sit here. That's for me to have a conversation with a single person. Because my goddamn spouse is too insecure. What's the right answer?
For me.
It's okay.
For me, if I was at a conference and a guy walked up, like I'm still gonna have conversation. I would have conversation with anybody because I still feel like you can gauge where this conversation is going.
You can cut it off at any point. There's nothing wrong with being nice and being cordial. Exactly. And sure, are you enjoying the conference? XYZ, can you have my phone number? No, I'm sorry, I'm married. But we can have a conversation.
Right.
I don't think you have to be like a lot of restaurants down the street, or no, you can't sit here at a lot of tables. Just because you're married. That's that prison.
Speaking of, is that seat taken? I sat down in an empty seat next to somebody who I knew was in a relationship, but the seat was empty. I knew the seat was taken, and they got up. They were like, "Oh no!"
They don't want to get
beat. Oh man!
They got up.
What did you say?
I
would have been hurt.
Okay, well, that's on you. But we were in a meeting. We were in a meeting. So that person didn't get up and exit. That we were in a meeting. So the person just decided to stand for the duration of the meeting.
Wow.
You know what? It's funny. It's because even for me and Walter's around women all the time. And at first, when so he was in the era of when women were allowed to be on the ship. So initially I was like, wow, okay, women are allowed to be on the ship. But he was like, Shanika, this is gonna be crazy because it's always been men, and now women are going to be allowed to be on the ship. But I think for me at that point, I was like, okay, I can't feel any type of way because he is going to have he's going to have females that he mentors, and it doesn't mean that he's having any type of relationship with them. This is his job, and this is what his job consists of. So I had to drop that thought of every woman that was talking to him or in his space was trying to talk to him. And I just always make it a point now, I don't care about women talking to him, but if you start rubbing and touching and all of that, then I feel some type of way, because I'm like, keep your hands to yourself. Don't be touching up on him, and don't. So I stand close to him, and when he's talking, I'm gazing in his face, whatever, because it's okay, I don't want to come across as insecure, but I need you to know that this is my man, and don't put your hands on him, because I would not put my hands on your man if he was standing here next to you. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't be, just no, just don't do that. Just don't do that. So, but again, I think that's a loyalty check. You know, I think that's a lot. Like, is he going to allow me to do it, or is he going to move on the other side? Or like, even when you walk up, like if I'm standing there and somebody walks up to my husband, like right off the bat, like how long do you give your spouse to introduce you?
Oh, if they don't introduce you, that's hard. Now, I will say that it's not that it's the right answer. Like, so for example, I felt bad because I was kind of rude to that girl by saying, like, oh, I hope you get your food. But like for me, it was the fact that even if I was single, here I am, I'm going down to my car, I'm about to leave. You ask me what I'm up to, I'm just getting some lunch. Oh, I'm hungry. That just immediately, I'm all like, man, I don't know you like that. Like, I'm not taking you nowhere. So I mean, I was already kind of on that tip, but it was like, wait a second, why was she asking me like that? And I felt that. Now, if it was someone just sitting next to me, that's fine. But I'm not going to say anything. It's really about what they say to me. So, I mean, when I say the phrase like, oh, well, why are you sitting there all by yourself? What are you doing here all by yourself? That's, right? But if it's like, oh, hey, is this seat open? No, it's open. You can sit there. How's work going? It's fine.
Sometimes we look for what's familiar. It's like, okay, if you are in a room, a room full of white people, unfortunately, or somebody, and you see a black face, it's almost like we're looking for the familiar. So it's like, it's something, that's what Will's like, no, you don't. You go to.
I want my own table.
Oh, see, you're like that. It's not about the relationship. Once you sitting there chewing with your mouth open, like asking me how my Monday is when you know damn well the Monday is bad.
All right, so we got a lot. I'm excited. We got a lot of responses. The conversation is very, I don't know, okay. The conversation is very much beware of the singles. And that's an unfair and gender stereotype put on women. I grew up with brothers. I've never slept with my male friends and value all members of my community regardless of their relationship status.
It's a great thing.
Yeah. I like that.
On the night.
Okay.
Yeah, I like it.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank y'all.
Yeah, that was good. That was really good. So
yeah, great.
Yeah, I don't know. So I think that we shouldn't. So what do we learn here? We shouldn't be mean to people.
Please be mean or rude.
We should check our insecurities.
Yeah. We never answered if somebody can make you insecure, though.
Or maybe I am.
Let's answer that real quick. Well, you're right.
We never answered.
Do you think somebody can make you insecure?
I think somebody can highlight your insecurities. I think when I think about that, I think about, you guys remember Why Did I Get Married? And the first one, when Jill Scott was married to the guy and she had these big weight issues. And she was already insecure about it, but he used to always make jokes and then he would look at all the little skinny women. I think those things heighten people's insecurity. Yeah. She was already insecure with herself to begin with. But then, in a relationship with somebody who brings those things out, I don't think that's good.
Yeah, I think definitely gaslighting can do it. Like maybe something you weren't insecure about, but then that person is manipulating you by making you question your own reality. I think that brings up, that can create an insecurity where then later on you're worried about if someone's lying to you or telling the truth, and that's horrible.
Right. I don't know if you have experienced this, like as a hairstylist, like I've had to correct so many people. It's like, okay, I need hair down on my forehead because my forehead big. Oh, I need to cover my ears because my ears are big. Or I'm like, who told you that? Like, who told you?
No, I don't have those problems. Yes, you're right. We do need to do something. Good. We do need to do something with these ears. I don't feed into that. If they got a big forehead, it's my job as a hairstylist. Yeah, you got a big forehead. What are we gonna do about it? If they don't have a big forehead, I'll say I don't think that. I don't think so. Right, but if they got a big forehead, I'm not gonna sit there and lie to you and you walk out.
No, because I feel like a lot of my clients who say stuff like that, it's like your forehead is not big. I think when you're younger and you're smaller, you haven't grew into yourself. But
I think what Will is saying, when you tell them that your forehead is not big, Are you saying that to boost them up, or are you saying it because
no, a lot of my time, like somebody really somebody really said it, and I'm like, your forehead is not big. I don't know why you feel that way. I don't know why you're saying it. I don't know why. Like who's somebody? And then people be like, oh yeah, my mom used to say, say stuff like that, and I'm just like, I don't know why, because I don't feel like your forehead is big, and like the way you trying to wear it, you trying to force it, you trying to force this bang that is not cute. Like,
are we
it's not cute.
still talking about if people can make you insecure?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But whose perspective is correct? The person who's wearing it or you?
I mean, I give
because you don't think their forehead is big because you probably seem maybe bigger, and they just they want to look at something different. Who's right? Who do you? I mean, do you go by what they want?
No, at the end of the day, they're gonna wear their hair the way that they want to. But I always show them different. It's like, okay, it's still pretty like this, even if you don't. Because I think that sometimes people just need somebody else to come up behind. Like you, it's like you've been living with this insecurity. Somebody has told you something about yourself, but nobody has ever been like, okay, it's not like you're pretty, you're beautiful, you're this or you're that. So somebody, it's like somebody has ruined you to make you have all these insecurities about yourself because nobody has ever come up behind them and been like, okay, so you're living with this trauma that somebody has projected onto you, and that's not true. It's just not like it's just not. And so you live with these thoughts of like I have this going on, or I have that going on, whatever. Like I feel like people have said things to me about me, and it's just like, that's your perspective. That's what you think. That's that. I don't care what you think.
Oh yeah. I mean, for me, I used to laugh when people would say, "You think you know everything." I'm like, man, you said it. I don't know. I'm like, you think you're right all the time. I'm like, who the hell is out here thinking they're not right all the time? Like that's self-esteem. I think most of us think we're right, at least most of the time, until proven otherwise. But,
I am.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's proven, though. The proven fact. Yeah.
I think a lot of people just have their own insecurity. I think it's true.
And they project.
People highlight it or bring it out of you, but you've already had it.
Yeah.
Because I mean, forehead. Oh man. I mean, I'm sure all these things. I mean, to me, it's like a pimple. You get your first pimple. You're going through puberty, and you feel like it's yelling at people, like as if you walk in a room and everybody from miles away can see that pimple that's on your cheek. And it's like, maybe they see it, but they worry about their own shit.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Right, Laura?
That's the good one.
Yeah.
Great.
All right, guys.
All right, guys. This is great. Great conversation.
Chat was great.
I like this theme. I like the relationship theme. That worked out.
It did.
Good. Let's bring it even harder next week. Next week after next week, Thanksgiving week, then we just have one more week until 2022.
Oh my goodness.
This year is over.
Shanika does not like to hear that. We're gonna have to all form a circle around Shanika, and we're going to hug her because she goes through withdrawals during our break.
Aww.
Yeah. I take down all of my stuff. I take it all down.
Do you?
I do.
Oh, okay. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Well, all right, y'all. Gotta go fry some chicken.
Oh,
I gotta go take this baby off my wife's hands.
All right.
All right.
Good night, everybody.
Great rest of your week, and we will see y'all next week. Bye,
See you next week.
Bye.
All right.